I started seeing things on my camera that scared me. Things far off in the distance, large things looking like they're moving and such. But the video quality wasn't good. Whenever you videotape Bigfoot, the video is not great.
Hello everybody, today we have a special treat. We don't do interviews on this channel, ever. We're gonna be talking to Petley Chase. Go subscribe to his channel immediately. He is doing some incredible things. We cover paranormal on this channel, and within the realm of the paranormal is cryptozoology. He is looking for a giant monster in Lake Tahoe. I promise you, this is incredible. Chase, you got some interesting things going on. Tell me, what are you up to?
I explored the bottom of Lake Tahoe. I've always made robots and stuff just because I wanted to see what's at the bottom of these lakes, and I couldn't afford to buy one of these things. They're millions of dollars. Here, it might be interesting. I could show you like one of the robots I'm working on.
So you built that?
Yep, that's actually started off as a snowblower.
What will that be able to do? Is it gonna walk on the seafloor?
That drives along the floor of the lake.
Well, that's pretty impressive. How did you figure out how to do that?
When I was in the military, I actually got to do an MIT vocational learning program. I got jobs as head of research and engineering for companies, so just got into it. I build these camera housings. Here you got bulletproof glass, and this is all aluminum, and my stuff goes in here. This is one thing that I invented. This is one I made with anticipation of other people using it. It fits a GoPro here and a light here. Then you get the bulletproof glass on front, and it's all wireless and just really easy for people to use.
You didn't believe in the stuff at first, so what turned it for you?
I was on the news back in 2013 when I was the first person to see the bottom of Lake Tahoe with my equipment.
I'm looking for anything that's interesting. Looking for wildlife, I'm looking for beautiful landscapes.
I became like the collection point for everybody to send me their cryptid stories because people see me on the news and they knew I could look. And those stories where people are seeing a large black snake with like a horse head. They say they've seen a creature come up to the surface and kind of skim along the surface, and it's just massive and black. And what everyone says is it's really shiny. And I was like, that's crazy at first. But when I heard the same thing from a couple people, I started thinking, wow, that's pretty interesting. These people don't know each other. And then I learned about the Native Americans before we were even around, coming up with the same story basically too. So I worked on my equipment for 7 years, making sure I can get something I can show people without being taken as crazy. There's a place called TERC, Tahoe Environmental Research Companionship, and the scientists were telling me there's no point looking down there because there's no life. All freshwater life can only go about 400 feet deep because it needs the light to hunt and see and live. But on my first trip down there, I seen shrimp, and they didn't believe me. I was able to actually bring one of them up, and I gave it to the director of biology at UC Davis. UC Davis at the time just spent $3 million trying to build a robot to see the bottom of Lake Tahoe, and it went down 550 feet and failed.
So their robot failed where yours succeeded?
Yeah.
Wow.
We were pretty mad about it.
So we're gonna look at this video, and you haven't seen it, but apparently there's something good in it. There should be no fish here.
There should absolutely be no fish there.
Whoa! That's definitely a fish. Wow, I mean, that's clear as day.
Trout are really deep diving fish, but they will dive up to 400 feet deep.
Why would a fish be 1,600 feet deep then?
I think it's evolved to live down there, and I think that it's found a new way to hunt. It's obviously moving around down there pretty well.
So what the hell are the scientists talking about?
Just because it was current scientific knowledge that freshwater life doesn't go deeper than 400 feet, they just wrote off the idea of life being down there.
What is that, Neil?
You know, this is one of the things that I don't have a clear video of, and I don't know.
At what point in the 7 years did you think there's something bigger to look for? Literally.
About 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks?
Yeah.
What happened?
I started hearing echolocation. That kind of blows the pants off of science right there because only mammals use echolocation. And there's no way a mammal could be at the bottom of Lake Tahoe because they breathe air.
Do you have the echolation that we can hear?
Yeah, sure. I recorded this just last month, and it honestly scares the crap out of me. Whenever the numbers go up, it's the sounds.
Is there any other possibility of what that could be way down there?
Pretty clearly, that's echolocation. And that's why I started thinking, holy crap, there's something big down there that's hunting.
If these legends have been around for a long time, then do we think that it's just one creature or it's a species that has survived all this time?
There's got to be hundreds of them down there. I'm hearing it's miles away in different parts of the lake, and the chance if it was just one, this thing following me around is pretty low. I think there's a ton of these things. Some people raise doubt. They say, well, why don't we ever see it coming to the top? And that could be easily explained by something called thermoclines and chemoclines. There's separations in the water in density and temperature, which makes it so something at the bottom of Tahoe really can't come up.
People have said that it has come up though.
Rarely it will come up for something, maybe mating, I don't know, maybe when it's near its death. I think that's why the scientists haven't discovered it yet, because it doesn't come up often.
How would you explain if there's hundreds of them and they die? I guess they would just settle at the bottom, they wouldn't wash up and come up?
No, they wouldn't. There's no way it could wash up. Lake Tahoe is like a big, steep box. A thermocline separates the water. There's a current at the bottom and a current in the middle, and these two currents never mix. There's no way something could ever float up or come up.
One of the things about Bigfoot, it's so elusive, and people think, well, maybe it's interdimensional and he can sort of slip through portals and all these different things, and he's invisible at times. Would you attribute any qualities like that to the black snake, or do you think the black snake is just an animal?
I don't think we're dealing with any interdimensional things, but I think we could be dealing with large bodies of water tied to Lake Tahoe underneath the water.
So they could be traveling to bodies of water that exist underneath land that we don't know about?
Absolutely.
Big picture, like what are the implications if this is real?
It would be massive to the scientific community, called divergent evolution, divergent biology. If we can prove that we have echolocation that evolved in this freshwater lake, we can compare how it evolved in the other lake. So it gives the scientists a lot of information when they can see two different traits being developed in two different environments that are separated. A lot of people think, well, you're doing this silly camera stuff, why don't the big guys come in with their big robots? And the reason why these guys can't come in with their big multi-million-dollar robots is because it takes a 300-foot-long boat to operate them. So we're not going to get that in Lake Tahoe.
I see. So you're the best chance.
Yeah. I got some interesting stories about the bottom of Lake Tahoe.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
When I was on the news in 2013, I got a call from the Navy Archaeology Department. And they said, hey, we know you're looking around at the bottom of the lake. We have to tell you about this, and you're going to have to keep your mouth shut.
Oh!
They had an airplane go down in the lake in, I think, 1954. And they were never able to recover the plane or the body. They said, don't bump into it. It has bombs on it. It was going to go drop bombs in Nevada and took an emergency landing in Lake Tahoe. They really didn't want me to put any video of it online because the pilot was still in the plane.
You didn't run into it, did you?
I think I've located it. I have not gotten my camera to see it yet, though.
If you told them, would they go out and get it?
That was one of their main problems, is that they don't really have the capabilities of getting it. We got another interesting story. Lake Tahoe has railways leading into it, and they used to put things on barges and barge them across the lake before they had the tunnels to go around the lake. So Ringley Brothers was coming through town, and they had an elephant, and the elephant freaked out on the barge, and there's an elephant at the bottom of Lake Tahoe.
So that's something to look for, because it would be preserved, right?
Yeah, I think it would be preserved pretty well. It's pretty well-known fact. We had Oriental people building the tunnels and stuff around there for the railroads. And the big story is that instead of paying them at the end, they chained them together, pushed them into the middle of the lake, and they put them underwater. There could be some guys down there all chained together. It's pretty well documented that the mob used Lake Tahoe as a dump site for bodies.
I think what's fun is that there's so much in the world that's been conquered, explored, and there's not much mystery left, but you have a whole toy box in which you can play and unearth historical mysteries, biological mysteries. Like, that's the most fun thing ever.
Yeah, I just have a fascination with anything deep, like deep mine shafts, deep lakes, deep everything, man. It's just something I can't get out of my head. It just fascinates me. I can't sleep at night thinking about it.
So that's it. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more of Chase and his exploits, subscribe to his channel and watch him. He's a great guy. As you can see, he's doing some amazing work, and I can't wait to see what he's going to find. All right. Thank you, everybody. Like and subscribe. Goodbye.
So I never get to talk to, you're probably like the leading authority on anime, and I want to get into anime. And I just watched your video about summertime rendered.
Oh, you gotta watch it. Yeah.
I think that's where I'm going to start. Is there any anime that deals with underwater exploration or anything of underwater creatures?
I'd have to think about that. I'm sure there's something that I'm not thinking of.